So now it's time to go from the Madoka Magica world to the Dragon Ball world.
Maybe you've heard of it.
So we're gonna bring in the DaizEX EX crew, including Mike and Mary, and also Julian and Heath
From Kanzentai.
from Kanzentai. Julian is out there in Japan. Who's on the air
That's
right now?
right.
Oh, there.
Hey.
Yo.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Sup? Not bad.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So
If you
we're
guys
gonna.
have video, feel free.
Yeah. If you
Turn
want
on.
video, Jason is able to do that with his technical skills.
I'm using an older Skype, so will it still work?
That's a good question.
don't
If
see
not,
why
we
not.
could look at a
I
silhouette.
see an exclamation point, unfortunately.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Julian's is loading, so
Yeah.
we could watch the loading
We
screen.
could watch the circle spin.
I think we should watch the circle.
Lovely. I am here.
So we're going to talk a little bit about TBC, a little bit One Piece. It'll be like a sequel to the cross epic we did. How long ago was that now? Over a year ago?
Yeah, it had to be over a year.
Oh, we
was
did
in
Julian.
Virginia the other time.
Hi, Julian.
Hey.
Julian, long time no see.
Do you have Heath on the line too?
Do we have Heath on Skype?
He just contacted
Oh, okay.
requested.
Perfect.
Ah, there you
give
go.
me a second, and I will.
Okay. So as Jason does that, Mike, I heard you've been catching up on One Piece.
Maybe.
Does that mean you don't want to talk about it?
No, it's fine. It's we're kind of leeching off the Next Town Over's library, and they've got halfway through Thriller Bark, so
Oh,
that's
wow.
where I am right now.
That is a place to get stuck, I think. But it's no, you were way further than you were.
It must be nice to
last
be in a
time.
position, just from knowing what I know about stuff, and I won't spoil anything, but that's a great place to be where you are, just to be so close to awesome parts of the series.
I know, that's the thing, it's killing me. Like, I know there's good stuff coming, and I'm in the middle of some not so great stuff right
Yeah,
now.
no.
You just
And it
gotta
was
stick
even
it
worse
out.
in the anime.
Oh, hey Heath.
Hello.
I like that pop filter.
You guys
You
such
like
big
it?
haters.
I have
for
one
you, Zach.
too, you just can't see my stuff.
Well,
a good
maybe if you
substitute for
updated to the recent Skype.
I don't want to.
You won't update to anything.
Well, I was like iffy about doing it because it's really freaky. I mean,
Yeah,
Jason can
it's
attest.
different, and we had issues before because of it.
Yeah, but we're figuring things out.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have you all on. I don't think
Yeah.
we've had everyone.
Oh
on.
yeah, no problem. I just realized we're actually
Yeah.
live. I wasn't paying
Oh, okay,
attention.
but-
Where am I?
Yes, we are in fact broadcasting to people.
Yes, we are.
I'm sorry.
Uh,
I'm
for-
totally here.
So, Mike, and we could go around, but you want to explain what you guys do on a weekly basis?
Oh man. So my name's
don't we
Mike.
do?
I go by Vegito EX online. I started a website back in January 1998, and damn it, I'm still here.
You also started a podcast 6 years ago, which is actually the first podcast I ever listened to.
Oh,
Yes.
thanks. Yeah. We started. I think it was November 2005. We said,
Oh, yeah.
hey, Dragon Ball. They don't have a podcast. Podcasts are new. That'll get new listeners and new audience members. And again,
Here we are.
here we are.
Yes. I remember that. It was just before I went to Japan for the first time, and I've stuck with it ever since, and now I'm living here.
I know, Julian. You joined me in 2003, right?
Yeah, actually, just about when I was graduating from high school, which I know makes you feel old, but
I know, right?
makes me feel old now too.
Yeah.
We also just brought in Greg, so we got the whole crew here.
No, you're not
Oh
allowed
my
to have
gosh.
people older than I am on the show.
Is that the rule?
The only reason I want to do this is because now there's somebody else in my time zone.
Hey,
So no, this is cool. And Heath, you have your introduction.
My introduction, let's see, I started out with Kanzentai in May of 2005. So I'm coming up on 7th year.
Wow.
It's just
Oh,
crazy.
you're so cute and young.
2005.
1998, my ass, whatever.
God, it's weird that 2005 was that long ago, even.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so we
Yeah.
were talking about Mike is getting into One Piece, but
He's pretty far into One Piece.
Pretty far into
Whoa,
One
wait,
Piece.
let me put this in perspective
Okay.
because One Piece was a series that, as I was coming into the Dragon Ball fandom, all the people from, and Greg will be well aware of this, all of what we called the second generation, or actually the first generation of Dragon Ball website masters, they decided to abandon Dragon Ball and move on to One Piece because that was a hot new thing in Shonen Jump. So I said, all right, they're all cool people. I want to be cool people too. Let me check out this thing that they're all getting into. So I got into One Piece. It was really new, at least the TV adaptation. And it's unfortunately been the kind of series, I know a lot of people are familiar with this from Dragon Ball and every other long-running shonen. You can't keep up with all
true.
these things throughout your entire life. And One Piece is a thing I come back to every few years or so, and I binge in a very, very hard and probably unhealthy way. And
I know what that's
then I
like.
have to drop it again.
Burn yourself out, man.
Yeah, I do.
I know, Julian, you've been... You're completely caught up, right?
Yeah, I've been steadily following it and, Tachiyomi in convenience stores because they don't shoo me away. Their fault,
Because you have the easy access.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I do buy the Tankobo, and that's my excuse.
And I know Heath is also caught up, right? I think so. Mike is the odd man out.
Man, making me look bad here, guys.
But let's talk about Dragon Ball a little then. Steve, you're
Yeah, I can talk about that.
Let's do
You had a
that.
question you wanted to
Steve, you had a good question.
Yeah, because I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan too, and I've been thinking about this a lot. Well, not like every day, like it's because that's
Well,
kinda
you should
weird.
every
yeah,
day.
I know.
Really,
right?
you should.
Every day, should wake up in the morning. It's like yes, Dragon Ball. But my question is, I was just thinking because I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, but I know it's not perfect. I know it has its flaws, and a lot of people grow out of it, but a lot of people still love it. I was just thinking, after all these years, what makes me like what makes us go back to Dragon Ball and watch it? I've seen these episodes way too many times.
Yep.
I said, it's like over the years, yeah, maybe it's not the most elaborate story and it's not the most groundbreaking anime compared to others these days and what they go for, but what do you guys think draws people back to Dragon Ball that makes it a timeless series?
Man, I always go back to the ensemble cast, and of course that's the reason why One Piece is a favorite for all of you, and of course it is for me. There's so many characters, and whether you can identify with someone, or even just a little trait here and there between characters, you find someone that you just love and adore to death. And if it's just that one character that brings you back and keeps you going through it, I think that's all you need sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely think there's also a balance between the sense of fun and the sort of suspense that keeps you coming back chapter after chapter. I think the anime kind of milks that a bit too far, but
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it brings a lot of elements together, especially for the anime side where it's divided up, because you watch early on and it's such a gag and so fun, and it slowly transitions, and then it just becomes all action in the end, and then we kind of go back to a little bit of gag once we get to the boo stuff.
Yeah, it does its own cycles.
It's true. And I think we all grew up on Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's probably why we're all
Hey,
here.
It's the gateway drug.
It is.
I mean, Mike, I was on your website in '98
Yeah.
I think I was
Stop
too.
it. Stop saying these things.
when I was. In
I know,
seventh grade.
99.
I didn't
I
find
was
it
on in
until
99.
2001.
I'm the only one that didn't know.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you're
wish
the
I
youngin'
did.
here,
I didn't.
Steve.
And that's disappointing. They finally went up. I think my website, what was it, Dragon Ball to
Julian, you
GT
put that away.
back in the day, the unrivaled info source.
Oh, right, the unrivaled
That
info
used,
source.
that used to be the site.
I
I
had
went
Planet
to.
Namek.
Yeah, Planet
Planet
Namek.
Namek.
I remember.
Oh, so good. They had the video clips. Back
Yeah,
in the day.
but no, I actually remember for DBZ to watch it uncut, you had to put on like the Spanish channel. Back
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
I did
Spanish
that.
Oh,
DBZ.
BBC all...
And,
This is something we've talked about lately. There was a point in time where you could theoretically be watching the original Japanese version on the international channel, the Spanish dub on Telemundo,
Yes.
and the English dub on Cartoon Network. I mean, these were
remember
all
that.
playing at the same time, and I think that's part of why it's just this institution for so many different people, so many different cultures. It's just everywhere, always.
That's
I
an
just,
understatement.
I'm just thinking back to when DBZ was wrapping up in the States, at least the original, the Funimation dub back in like 2002, 2003, and GT was kind of on its way out. like the big discussion, like, oh, what's the next DBZ? What's going to be the next big anime? And everyone was saying Naruto and all that. I think DBZ is still DBZ is the next DBZ because it just has never gone away, and it's still so relevant. Whether it's Kai or anything else, no one has forgotten about it, and I don't think any anime still has matched up to its popularity.
That's a really good point. And maybe, Heath, you can bring some Toei's perspective in here, too. Because it was, I don't know, it was just this calculated move on their part with Kai to indoctrinate another generation of fans in a way that's really never been done before. Heath, I know over on Kanzentai, you got a nice feature up that shows charts from, like, their financial presentations that show what they wanted to do and hook the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were really looking for the next generation, and they made this huge presentation about how they were going to bring in a younger audience, basically redo it so that they could keep a really good market stream going, having a constant flow of basically money, and we all know Toei loves money. So that's what they were going for, and gosh, they had merchandise, and I know Julian can attest to just walking down the street, seeing all the Kai stuff.
Yeah. And I think that was also, in a way, they had a lot of success. They did bring in a new generation to watch the series. Unfortunately, at the same
That's
time...
it.
Yeah, the merchandise is the same merchandise there's always been. The manga doesn't change, and everything else just got Kai slapped onto the end of Dragon Ball. So,
Fortunately, the manga doesn't change.
Yeah.
Except
So,
the Tankobon covers. Or the
Right.
designs, yeah.
Well, that was a whole other disaster.
Yeah,
in
that
and
was
of itself.
completely unrelated.
Like, we're going to bring out new guidebooks for the Kanzenban, and then as soon as that's done, we're going to re-release the Tankobon again with new covers and somehow just replace everything.
Malibu Stacy, but she has a new hat.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, put $1 in.
Ah, crap.
Simpsons reference.
Me correcting
well-
your tone. Just
Unfortunately for Toei, the fans of Dragon Ball tend to be much less hardcore collectors than some other series. So,
Right.
Well, especially for something that's been around for so long, and a lot of those people already have what they want.
yes.
Right.
What? New covers for 420 yen? I can go buy that at Book Off for 100 yen.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience there, Julian.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
it was just amazing. But I mean, we've seen Dragon Ball all over the place. I mean, it has a ridiculous amount of games that come out every year where you play the same exact story without anything different for the most part.
If people listen to us, they know. If I have to play Raditz Taboo one more year in an effing row, I'm going to jump out a window somewhere. I can't do it anymore. And it's translating to sales now, too. We've seen them tanking year after year after year. And I'm really curious to see what the annualized game is going to be this year, because I don't know how they can be financially responsible and continue to do this crap year after year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the Wii and the Game Boy Advance when they did the Dragon Ball stuff, the Origins or whatever. That stuff was fun, but that's because we haven't really played the story all that much. It's not hey, I played this last year, and the year before that, and the year before
I
that.
jumped ship a long time ago because
Well, now we have the Kamehameha Connect game, so that'll be...
Oh, yay!
Oh, my.
How does that go? You just dude. It's like put your hands back here.
We
Up
don't know.
front. You
Korea's
beat
got
the
a rating
game.
for it. UK's got a rating for it, and that's what we know.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
interested in that Korean game.
Yeah,
They've
I
got all
don't know Dragon
sorts of
Ball
stuff.
Online.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Will it
know
ever
if
get to
that's
Japan?
ever going anywhere besides Korea, but I was interested in that.
Oh, what happened? That kind of fall through, or
It just,
No,
it's
it's
continuing
doing well.
there,
They're
Yeah.
hoarding it.
keeping it for themselves.
Keeping it from us, that's right.
What are you gonna do? The funny thing is now the same thing is like finally hitting the DVD Blu-ray market. With Kai.
Well, that's
and,
because it's so oversaturated. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
they
an
just finished
understatement.
releasing the Dragon boxes, then they were still releasing Kai on Blu-ray and DVD, and then they tried to introduce a third item to the market, which is the exact same story.
and I feel like
Well, technically, it's kind of also the fourth item to the market. The orange bricks are still on the shelves down at Target.
That's true.
And it's everywhere, so many different versions. And there was maybe 2 years back, I can't remember, I'd have to dive back, but it was when Funimation was still under Navarre, and they basically revealed that Dragon Ball is responsible for 50% of Funimation's profits. So it would behoove them to continue to have a new product on the shelf every couple months. That makes sense. but we don't know. I don't think we're ever going to really know what just went down with, oh my God, why were there 6 months in between Kai releases? Did they not know how much effort or what the sales projections were going to be with these Blu-rays? I think it was just a disaster on all ends.
Yeah, I mean, was that also partly because of the music and stuff like that? Or
oh man, let's talk about this real quick, because I don't know how many people really keep up with this. Dragon Ball Kai had a fun little situation over in Japan.
Just something that you had noticed and made a video about, just sort of goofing on it years ago.
Well, we have been talking about this for years, and I don't want to say I'm responsible for Kenji Yamamoto being fired, but there's a piece in the back of my head that kind of wishes it was true. Yeah. Kenji Yamamoto did the musical score for Dragon Ball Kai as it was being broadcast in Japan, and he's not a composer for the TV version elsewhere, but he'd been doing video games for decades and additional arrangements and compositions. So we were all kind of...
Well, we should back up and say that he did do a few key pieces in Dragon Ball Z, including the music plays in back of Trunks becoming a Super Saiyan when defeating Frieza. And that happens to be a pastiche of a number of songs from a single album by a German synth-pop band called Propaganda. It's not even his work. He's just sort of pasted it together, well, rather artfully, but it goes back at least
artistic
to the early
license,
90s.
Julian.
How did you find this out? Like I mean, I don't know how many people listen to
Mike listens to way too much music. And he tries to talk about it.
So I didn't discover the Trunks one. The one that came to me, it was back when I was in high school. I was working in Blockbuster at the time, and it was during a closing shift. I had this awesome boss. I think his name was Marty. Instead of playing the pre-programmed Blockbuster videos, what we would do is after the owner left and we were closing till about 1 o'clock, we would pop in whatever we wanted to. And this guy insisted on doing live concert videos. So one night he popped in a Pink Floyd concert, and it was this song called One of These Days came on. And I so vividly remember just shooting my head up being like, why is Cell's theme from Super Butoden 2 playing right now? I don't understand what is happening. And just it snowballs from there. And something I've always said is, I don't think we're ever going to know exactly how many pieces he plagiarized, because you have to be the exact type of Dragon Ball fan who listens to the exact type of other music. And we just see it go on and on and on. I've got a great feature over on DaizEX EX all about Kenji Yamamoto, the pieces we have discovered over these decades, and it's just astonishing. So eventually, this all came to a head right before Kai was coming to an early close, and I think it was only about 2 weeks before the disaster hit in Japan, somewhere around there. Yeah. Toei just put up this kind of vague PDF public announcement on their website saying, we are aware that there may be some infringing works in the score of Dragon Ball Kai. We are looking into it. We are going to work with the necessary parties. The end. And all of a sudden, the entire score from the show was stripped, with 2 episodes left to air. Well, 3 at the time.
It was very,
really
very
strange.
Weird.
And the sad part is, it doesn't feel like he got caught until he just really went all in, and he started plagiarizing things like Avatar and Terminator. I think somebody would have caught on to it before that. But,
the important thing there is Toei never said, we know what pieces they are, or we are acknowledging these pieces. So it's just up to us to say, we're pretty 99% sure it's these.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there quick and easy to view or listen to samples of these on your site or through your YouTube channel?
www.DaizEX.com. Over on the right side of the page, scroll down a little bit. I've got a hot link to that Kenji Yamamoto feature. His goofy-looking mug is right there on the page. I've got samples left and right. Here's the original version. Here's the Dragon Ball version. Lols.
How do you think that unfolded, though?
That's the thing. I think Julian made a good point there, is when he started going to Avatar and Terminator, and that was also around the time that arc of Kai was when Trunks appears, that some of those pieces of music started popping up on American television, and we're in an age when that stuff immediately gets online. We don't know. Did someone make a phone call somewhere and all of a sudden Toei's freaking out? We don't know.
Well, I know Nickelodeon freaked out about it.
Yeah, because that's what I had heard. That with Nickelodeon is like they got some of the stuff and they're like, we can't air this because this is this.
Right. There was that one piece of Trunks in particular. Again, it happens in the Trunks episodes. I forget which exact piece that was. It might have been the Avatar one. But there's these 3 versions of it. There's the original broadcast version. That particular song from that particular scene was replaced with another Kenji Yamamoto piece. So that's kind of like, all right, they're probably aware of that one. And then eventually they stripped it all back to the original Shunsuke Kikuchi score. That was the original composer from DBZ. So you've got this progression of we're slowly removing the music from Kai.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because they just like put in DBZ music. They're like, let's not halt during. Well, I guess it's hard to halt there, but it's like to get new music to put in.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do? Well, we can't trust anything this man has made. So what do we have?
And the series is coming to an end, and we already have all this music licensed under our name. And so they just went with Dragon Ball Z, makeshift, threw a bunch of crap in, and so be it. And then we've even talked to some people in Japan that, music that's been re-aired, then when that episode re-airs again, it already has even different music from the last time it re-aired. So it seems like they're constantly just redoing the music to what they think fits well.
Yeah.
Well, especially the last 2 episodes where they had just sort of thrown it in at the last minute. It didn't feel like it fit very well. It was just, well, we got this, we'll use that. And maybe they went back again and sort of put in music that they felt fit the scenes a little bit better, but we don't know.
You're talking about like the last 2 episodes that actually aired on TV?
Yeah.
Well,
96, 97.
That's actually an interesting point you guys make, because they keep on changing the music. Maybe that's why we've had such a delay, because it got to the point where it was like, all right, you guys figure it out, and then we'll finish releasing this, because...
Yeah, like, we don't even want to chance it. We're not touching it for half a year. We don't care.
I really hope so.
We got Blu-rays, we're trying.
Considering how the pool of music, the original score they're using from DBZ is so limited.
That's another complaint.
I just feel like ever since the Kai score got changed, I feel like Kai lost a lot of its uniqueness. Like it, honestly, to me, at least from watching the dub, of course, that's another story. Considering how much more of a faithful adaptation is compared to the original dub. It felt. Well, we won't get into that. It felt like a new show. It felt a lot different, but and as much. And I love the original score from DBZ. It just doesn't seem like it belongs there.
Right, and I mean that's the thing, because like even with Kai, we were hearing like the same tracks every single episode.
Yeah,
I was like,
when
all
it was
right.
just Yamamoto's.
Yeah, I was like, when is this score going to play? Because we heard it last episode.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, in a way, it makes you almost appreciate more the themes, even though they weren't really my favorites, especially the second ending, because you get Yasushi Akimoto, who has an incredible talent for bland, featureless bubblegum pop. But
that's a good way to put it.
He now works for AKB. No.
He does?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that would make sense.
Well, AKB is another disaster with the guy.
It's not really a disaster. That.
But the whole end of the series, I know for like Mike and myself at the end there, I mean, we were updating like crazy for like a month straight because the series was ending, and then all of a sudden there's a music scandal, and then there's an earthquake, and then shows are delayed, and then it was just like running around like crazy.
Oh yeah, the final
episode
it
was pretty
didn't
crazy.
Actually air.
Well,
that's right.
Because of the tsunami, yeah.
Yeah, because it got pushed back, and instead of just pushing Toriko a week back, they're like,
well, Toriko is going to get better ratings. I think they were thinking at that point.
Well, they had already solidified that time slot, and they've had ads out for a month saying this is when Toriko is going to start. So
at that point with Kai,
here's where we're going.
Cut our losses.
Yeah, and in Japan, I know time slots are like more than a commodity. It's like you own that slot.
Right.
Yeah. The only thing they can preempt around here is a Hanshin Tigers game that goes late.
Well, yeah, that was the odd part. There was like a Tokyo Marathon, so they had actually delayed the last 3 episodes of Kai with that because they aired that in the time slot, and then the earthquake hit, so then it got delayed another week, and it just got completely thrown off.
Yeah. Brings us back to the whole purpose of this 24-hour marathon podcast.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Raising money for the people of Japan.
Yeah.
That's right. Forget Dragon Ball. I want you people to donate. We are not here. I mean, we're here to provide content and hopefully a little entertainment as well. But
Yes.
I mean, the point here is to donate money, and I don't want to see you guys stop at 50. I want to see you guys go up to 60. So let's get going here.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know what everyone's slacking about. Come on.
Wake up.
So remember there are 2 donation plates open. I want to mention that again. I think we're at 34,310, so we're a little higher than what's behind us there. But one goes to the orphans of Japan who were orphaned from this earthquake. Goes to here I'll read some of the things it goes to: DVDs, CDs, baseball gloves, T-shirts, coloring board, like the little things for kids. And the rest goes to the other fund goes to long-term relief for the victims of the tsunami and the Fukushima Daiichi disaster. It was great having you guys on, though. Any final messages or?
I don't know. Can we hit up some of these questions in the chat real quick?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
That was really Steve's job. But okay.
I'm not paying attention to you. I'm paying attention to the chat.
That's much.
Oh, I'm not even paying attention to chat.
Where's the
As
chat?
of right now, everyone's just talking about spoilers.
All right. Let's go. Favorite Dragon Ball character, favorite
Yes.
One Piece character. Julian, go.
Mr. Satan and Sogeking.
Nice.
Heath.
The Sogeking and Dragon Ball is so hard. I'm gonna go with Piccolo.
All right. I'm going with Goku and Luffy. Sorry. It's easy.
That's
Oh,
you,
come
Greg?
on. Where's our
that's
pool?
kind of a cop out.
What about you?
No, a pool for
Right.
another day.
Greg.
Let's say Piccolo and
See, I got
I'm
Greg's
gonna
back.
go for the obvious: Piccolo and Zoro.
Steve.
They were nice, appropriate.
Oh crap! And we were doing us.
Green.
Sanji and
Still.
Trunks.
Zoro, obviously, and looking back on it, Krillin.
Good answer.
All right.
I always
Luffy.
appreciated his
I gotta
underdog.
go.
Yeah,
with...
people get the wrong idea with Krillin. They think he's such a crappy kid.
No, I mean Mayumi Tanaka. Come on.
He carried
yeah.
the ball in the Namek saga. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Luffy and Piccolo.
I was always going to go with Krillin, my favorite ever since I started watching the show, and Sogeking.
There you go.
Okay.
Woohoo!
That's a good way to round off. So thank you guys for coming on.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you.
guys.
Much
Really
appreciated.
Thanks for having
Pleasure.
us.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right, see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Later.